Yeah. Yeah. Yo, shout out Creep Records. Sick, dude. I don't think I've ever been in a record store. It's fucking cool. It's like Blockbuster of music. It's just a dying fucking industry. You guys sell vapes and shit though, so that's cool. I'm rarely in a store that I'm just so confident I hate every single person that shops here. We got Frisbee over by the cool fucking... by the weed posters, there's one of the Frisbees on. We're all like in our 30s. I'm just trying to get in a fight right now, dude. I'm just sick. I just knocked out some fucking hipster. Sublime. Sublime, dude. They're a Dalmatian. Now, I don't know, it's funny to talk about fights, because it's such a fucking douche thing to do. Like, yo, I'm the fucking man in fights. But I am. Unfortunately, the thing that sucks, I'm undefeated in fights. Never lost. But it's not like I win in a cool way. Like, I have weird strength. It used to be called something different. Now we're all woke. So it's weird strength now. Until they take away my right to say weird. But no, so I mean, I have that kind of strength, so no fight I get in is ever fucking cool. This is what that means. I've never lost a fight, but I've also never not cried in a fight. That's every fight. Every fight is just me getting punched in the face first, and then I cry, and I have one move. I just cry and walk straight at the person. Why would you hit me? And then I squeeze him as hard as I can. That's the only move I have. It's just, we could have been best friends, you fucking idiot. And I cry as hard as I can. Which sucks, because when you win a fight, you want to be like, yeah, dude. Like, I've won fights at parties and been like, in your head, you're like, if you win a fight at a party, maybe you'll get some pussy. People will think you're cool, but no chick wants to fuck that guy. No chick's like, oh man, you see that Shrek who cried? Who's that Shrek over there that cried and squeezed that guy? He just walked right at him like an Irish Frankenstein. Yeah. Oh, that's all my fights. I got in a fight in North Carolina. I played college football very briefly. I quit, but when I was still playing, so I was big at the time. I'm big now, but I was like 6'3", 300. I was benching 350, dude. I was fucking. So imagine that Frankenstein move. Bench 350. Like, oh god, fucking murder me. But we were watching my friends fight, and I played on the football team, so we would fight like the townies. And it was Division I, so all my friends were just jacked black dudes. It was pretty fucking sick. And we would just beat the shit out of these people. It was like Burlington, North Carolina. They were all white trash. And I was standing next to this dude watching my friend fight, and I definitely was just scratching my ass. So I was just reaching behind me, and this guy thought I was reaching for a gun. And just right next to me just socked me in the fucking mouth. And this was the coolest thing I've done. I chugged my beer and slammed it. And I was like, you're gonna have to hit me harder than that. I just went in the full fucking... And I grabbed him, and I remember he fell perfectly. Like, he fell... he fell sitting, facing that way. Like, he fell sitting right here, and I just grabbed him by his hair and fucking... People had to pull me off. They hit me! And then the last fight I got in was at Penn State, and this guy I was at a party. I was at a college party when I was out of college, which is fucking sick. And I was with my friends, and my one friend, who's a shit talker, was like, he just was like, this kid's talking shit on you, dude. He's trying to fight you. And I was like, no, he's not. Like, he definitely wasn't. He was just sitting there. And he was like, then that guy just stood up and was like, what the fuck if I am, dude? Like, what are you gonna do? And so I was like, well, then we'll fight. We'll definitely fight. And he was so little. That's another thing. I've never fought anyone my size. So I'm bragging about being undefeated, but I only fight people I'm definitely gonna beat the fuck out of. That's the rule. You never fight a wrestler, and you always fight someone you're definitely gonna beat. Like women. I'm also undefeated against women. Actually, that's not true. My fucking sister's here. She used to fuck me up. She's 7 years older than me. She played college basketball. She fucked me up. And then in 5th grade, I saw Goldberg do the spear on WCW, and I was like, I can do that. And for a week, I just beat the shit out of my sisters. Took it out on them. Classic spears, dude. That's funny. One time, my sister, she's here, she lost a game in basketball her senior year, and I was talking shit. I was like, you guys fucking suck. At the dinner table, and my dad was like, all right, square up, finish it. And we cleared out the living room table, and my sister and I boxed. Just bare knuckle fucking box. And she fucking rocked me. I was getting killed. I was like, I don't want to hit her back. And she was pissed, yeah. Katie's here. She also got drunk and punched me in the face over a game of Scrabble. Thanksgiving Day, she punched me in the forehead. Just a jab in the forehead. What a fucking loser. How old were you at that point? You were old, dude. You tried to lie about that. You were like 30. You were 30 and wasted at Aunt Kay's house. In Gillisburg, PA, right after the archery contest. But what was I saying about North Carolina? Or no, Penn State. So this kid, I just took him outside. He started stretching like a kickboxer. He started doing leg shit, and he was like, I'm a fucking state champion kickboxer. He was like 120 pounds. Like, I was like, dude, I don't care what fucking karate you know. I'm just gonna grab you. I'm gonna fucking grab you. I'm gonna fuck you up. Don't do this. And he kept stretching. I remember he had dog tags on. So that's the type of fucking douche this guy is. Not a soldier. I'm not hating on the troops. He just had dog tags. Shout out Peggy. Forgot you have dog tags. That's funny. But so we walk outside, and I just walked at him and grabbed him and held him. And there was like a waist-high wall in this person's backyard. And I was just holding him over it. And he was like, okay, dude, okay. Like, he just immediately quit. And then I was like, all right, man, chill. And I let go of him. And from his back, he fucking punched me in the face. And I was like, what? And then I held him and did that thing where I freaked out. I held him with one hand and punched. And I broke his nose. There was blood everywhere. It was fucking sick. It was fucking sick. And then I blacked out. I got drunk. And I woke up in bed next to this girl. And I had blood on my hands. I was like, you want to hook up? And she was like, ew, gross. All right. But yeah, none of my fights are cool. My dad has cool fights. My dad's a fucking animal. My dad grew up in a creek, on a creek. Basically in it. The Conneaguina in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. It's like how many brothers do you have? 4? They're all fucking savages. They're all huge, too. They're all huge, jacked fucking idiots. And it was a weird way they lived. Like, it was a white trash, like, compound of people. And they had cats. There were cats everywhere. There were too many cats. And their horse one time squashed a cat. Got in there. And my dad one time, he said he started a lawnmower and there was a cat in it. There were fucking cats everywhere. There's so many cats that my grandpa put them all in a bag and threw them in the creek. And then they hit the dam and broke open. several of the kittens crawled back to the house, and he was like, all right, these ones can stay. These are tough fucking cats. Which is a great story. But this story, this is a fucking weird story. They had a cow that they killed and ate. It was like my dad's pet. He cried and ate it. So yeah, my dad's tough. I grew up in a nice house and just played video games all the time. My dad grew up like just a moron. He wanted to grow fish in their pool over the winter. You would catch fish from the creek and put them in the pool, and it would freeze over. And then in the summer, when it would thaw out, there'd just be tons of dead fish. He was a moron. Oh my god, his stories are fucking hilarious. But this was a different time. Like, he had to fight other kids at the Knights of Columbus picnic. He remembers being like 4th grade having a fist fight for the dads. But, no, he got in a fight one time. My uncle Frank, he's the oldest, and he's the only one that's not huge and jacked. He's like a normal guy. But, I mean, he's still a fucking psycho. Like, he went to Notre Dame, he left Notre Dame, he went to the Marines in Vietnam, and then left, and came back and became a prison warden. He's a fucking animal. And this is how funny it is, because he's been in prisons his whole life. So, like, he talks like a black guy from the 70s. So, I'll see him. Like, what's up, Holmes? I'm like, all right. You job-ass motherfucker. I'm like, all right. Like, my cousin Jeff caught him bench pressing in the garage listening to Ghetto Boys. He's like 68. It was fucking hilarious. So he at the time he was a volunteer firefighter in Steelton, Pennsylvania, and he would be like a first responder. So he had a, what is it called, a scanner, and he would take calls and he would get to the fire first. So he got a call once, and he raced over there to get it. These people said there was a house fire, and he got there, and it was just just 4 fucking idiots, and it was a motorcycle that had caught fire that they just put out with a garden hose. It was a tough sentence. Yeah, shout out fucking Hacker 4. Munich Gold. Yeah, do you want the beer the Nazis drink? Here it is, guaranteed. It says since 1417. This beer's been through a ton. Been through the Protestant Reformation, the Holocaust. This beer went through that. So my Uncle Joe gets there. Sorry, I'm going over it. It'll be quick. I'll wrap it up. My Uncle Joe gets there, and it's just a fucking shitty motorcycle that was on fire. They put it out with a garden hose, and he was like, all right, well, now I need to use your phone, you fucking idiots. And they're like, all right, you can come use your phone. He's inside, and he's talking shit on the guys that called. He called the fire department. He was like, hey, don't rush through the city to get here. Like, don't speed through the fucking city. This is just a bullshit fire. These fucking morons set. This is something that, and while he's talking shit on these guys, calling them fucking morons, one of them just sucker punches him and knocks him out in their kitchen, just knocked out my uncle. And they obviously went on his way. He went home and he was like, well, he was all fucked up. He got home and he saw my dad, and I guess he told my dad what had happened. So my dad was like, fuck that shit. We're getting the boys, we're going to these fuckers' house. We're gonna fuck them up. So my dad and 3 of his friends, one of them had a broken arm, which is funny. A cast on his arm. They get in the car and they drive over to this guy's house, and they kick the door open, and it's just a family. They got the wrong house. It's just a family watching TV. So, like, the kids were on the floor, it looked nice. They're like, where the fuck is he? They're like, oh, they live next door. So they're like, oh shit. All right, thank you. And then they kick in those guys' door, and he said they were just sitting on the couch. So him and his 4 friends just started beating the shit out of these 4 guys, just while they're in their living room. And then, like, the guy with the cast was hitting them with the fucking cast. And then one of the guys pulled out a gun. So then my dad and his friends ran. Like, just ran. He said they ran right through the fucking screen door, which is funny. But while they were running out, one of my dad's friends was like, we're gonna burn your fucking house down, you asshole. And the neighbors whose house they broke into called the fire department. And my Uncle Joe got the call. Great ending. Frank, Uncle Frank got the call. Then, I'm running long, baby. Fuck it. A couple years later, my dad is going to buy a six-pack in a bar in Steelton, and he notices those four guys that the house they broke into were playing pool, and he was like, I remember seeing them through the fucking the mirror behind the bar, and he was like, they noticed me, but he was using his brother Joe's fake ID, and their brother Joe's like, he's the biggest, strongest, but he's the only nice one. Like he went to the Naval Academy for football. Like he's a big guy, but he's kind of a weird pussy. Like, he's into Ancestry now. But he was a jacked monster, and he was a sweet guy. So my dad gives the bartender his ID, gets the fuck out of there. Apparently those guys went up to the bartender and were like, who the fuck was that? And the bartender was like, that was Joe Gillis. He gave him my uncle's ID. So then a couple weeks later, my dad's with his brother Joe. And his brother Joe's back from college, and he's like, oh, I got a notice from the post office. Hopefully it's my college yearbook. He's all excited. And then he gets to the post office. It was a summons for breaking and entering and assault. Got charged with assault. And then, dropped because they were like, who the fuck's that? Anyway, that's it. You guys are great. Fuck yeah. 6, 1, Gillis, 2 records. See you guys.